Pre-season is over and Pompey head into the first round of the League Cup against West Ham on Saturday. Can the Blues arrest their poor form in the Cup over the years? We will discuss that and more in the Play Up podcast. Hello and welcome again to the Play Up podcast with me, Scott Mclachlan. This week I'm joined by both my overseas guests once again, as everyone else who's Pompey-based has gone on holiday. Adam and Simon, fresh from their weekend in Frankfurt and the Darmstadt friendly, join me again. How are you both doing, guys?
Good, yep. Just recovered.
Yep, same here, yeah. So our holiday was a very nice trip down to southwest Germany. So it's slightly less exotic than wherever everyone else is.
Well, you never know. I mean, I think Phil's in a holiday camp somewhere, so it's going to be definitely more exotic than that. Based on the picture of the fake Harvey Blair he posted on the WhatsApp group earlier. So, I don't even begin to describe it. It was just so bizarre. But anyway, you guys both went to the Darmstadt friendly. Obviously, Simon, you crossed the border, but Adam, you had just as long a journey from north to south, didn't you? So, why don't you guys tell us how the weekend went and maybe a little bit about the match as well?
Well, I got the train up on Friday afternoon from Basel, so across the border. It's about a 3.5 hour trip. Bit of a change in between. For once, all the German trains were pretty much running on time until we got within about 5 minutes of Darmstadt, and then sat for 20 minutes. Got to Darmstadt, checked into a hotel, and then went in search of beers.
Absolutely, yeah. So I made the very sensible decision to fly down from Berlin rather than a 9-hour drive or 6-hour train drive, whatever it was. So yeah, same thing. I think we got there about the same time. Decided to go for a few beers. It was the Ratskeller, I think, in the town centre, which seemed to be the Pompey pub of choice, and of course Simon booked a table for us at 7:30, I believe, under a very secret squirrel kind of name, right? If you can, what was that, Simon? If you can remind us.
Well, I had hoped that they might write a little card or something and put it on the table, but my booking that I did online obviously didn't get through to their booking people, so that fell on deaf ears, and they managed to squeeze us in. But I used the name Abu Kamara.
Always in hope. Always in hope.
Well, we thought it might get a few Pompey fans excited if they saw that Abu Kamara was going to be had a table reserved at the central bar. But no, unfortunately, it just meant that there were us just standing around in the bar going, "Are you sure you don't have a reservation for Abu Kamara?" But yeah, we managed to get some beer and schnitzel, and I think set ourselves up pretty well, and then went to the Schlossgarten, right, which was quite good fun. Yeah. So we had a bit of a high view. We could see a load of the Pompey boys in the square kicking the football around and having a bit of a sing-song and having a good time. And it was good. It was good fun. It was I wasn't drinking the beer. I was on the beer schnapps of some kind. That was dangerous stuff, I think, and desperately trying to find whiskey. But I'm informed that there was decent beer there.
Yeah, the Ratskeller is a house brewery. So it brews its own stuff, and that's their kind of brewery tap, if you like, and it's right on the town square. So very easy to find. There's a fountain there, which I saw some video of a Pompey fan in the fountain later on. Over the weekend.
Somebody we know knows him, I think, don't we?
Yes,
yeah.
A small island.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're only 6 degrees from someone, aren't you?
The weather was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. It was stunning. And I think the next day, well, I mean, we all had. Actually, I met up with my nephews who are 16 and 18, who are, of course, legal drinkers in. Well, actually, 16 and 17, but he turned 18 today. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Archie. But
Happy
we
birthday,
met
Archie.
up with them, having some legal drinks in a few bars. So when everyone else went to bed, I met up with those guys around about midnight and carried on going for another couple of hours, which I massively regret the following morning. Back to the Rathskeller before the game, and it was absolutely heaving with Pompey. And it was a really good atmosphere there. Everyone getting prepared for the game and trying to figure out how to get the onward journey and on various different buses and trams. But yeah, it was a really good atmosphere during the day. I think Pompey took over the whole town centre.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of the so they had because it was their last pre-season, like you said last week, Adam. They had a whole load of entertainment outside the ground or in a fan zone or something.
Yeah, it's like a family fun day sort of setup, and they had lots of stalls around selling various bits of food as well as the normal stands that they have at the ground, and that was all inside the ground, if you like. So the way it's designed is there are quite wide boulevard walkways around most of the side of the ground. So there's lots and lots of space for milling around, and they filled that up with bits and pieces. Like they had a great dartboard with like a Velcro football, and the kids were kicking it and winning prizes for getting a bullseye and stuff like that.
I was just going to say the whole setup there was really good. I think. I mean, I know in general English fans aren't big on the sort of fan zone, fan village type things. I know it's slightly different in Germany, but it was really good fun. I mean, it was for a start, it was mixed. So there was Pompey and Darmstadt, which of course I'm not sure it would be for a league game. But everyone was milling around. There was a fine selection of different sausages for sale and beers and club shop and everything. And yeah, it's like various games. And actually after the game, they had various players set up in stalls signing autographs and set up there. So we actually hung around after the game for a couple of hours or something, just carried on drinking and eating and taking in the atmosphere and stuff before heading back into town.
I mean, there was a football match at some point, so
I'm told.
But it was 0-0, and it's a run out, and a run out, isn't it? Did anyone impress either of you for the minutes that they were on the pitch, or what? I mean, was it really sort of played at a very, very, very friendly level?
I think the first 20 minutes. In fact, the first half was played.
The first half, I would say, was actually a really good game. Yeah, it
quite
was really
competitive.
tight,
yeah, there was,
and we had a lot of chances as well. So, just thinking back and looking at the highlights earlier, there was the shot from Shane from outside of the box that the keeper saved well. Bishop hit the post from a header from a Devlin cross. There was Sejicic beat his man and was free and probably should have done better, but pulled out another good save. And Ibu Adams definitely should have scored when being put through again, but a great through ball from Shane. Yeah. But their keeper had a really good game and probably made 4 or 5 excellent saves. So actually, the first half was really competitive, and I thought we looked really decent. And the defence looked good. There were a couple of times when their striker got in between Poole and Shaughnessy, but I think in general, I thought the first half was really good. And of course, the trouble is at the second half, as soon as we started making all the subs, it started getting a lot more disjointed, and then it just did become a run out. I mean, at some point, I think we had Adams playing at left back and Bishop's playing on the right wings. It was not ideal at that point. Sorry, Simon, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, you mentioned Shane quite a lot there, and I think a few other people have picked up on his performances since he arrived have been pretty good quality.
Yeah, he was certainly of the new guys. He was standout. He was spraying the ball around nicely. He looked very calm in possession, and wasn't fazed by the opposition coming and closing him down at all. So that looks very promising. I thought Brooks Smith had a good game.
Yep.
He went off at half time, but I thought the first 10 minutes he was trying too hard to impress.
Absolutely, yeah.
But then he settled and looked promising.
And he's only 18 as well.
Yeah, certainly very young. I thought Segicic was really busy on the right hand side. I know he's not his favoured position on the wing there, but he certainly caused some trouble to a certain extent. Their left back was an absolute monster.
They had the biggest. In fact, their whole back four was the biggest back four I think I've ever seen. I think both of their centre halves were at least 6'4", 6'5". And they were monsters. But I still thought Bishop actually gave him a pretty good run. But you're absolutely right. Their left back, especially against Sedicic, who's not the biggest guy in the world, he just made it.
Yeah. When I first saw him, I thought, oh, he's quite a tall guy. And then when Segs was stood next to him, I thought, oh my lord. He's just like, he must have been 6'6", something like that.
They were enormous.
He was like normally proportioned. It wasn't like he was tall and skinny. He was normally proportioned, but just enormous.
Wow.
And I also saw with my very own eyes Adrian Sedicic put in a cross with his right foot.
Wow.
It's true. It happened. I saw it happen. So he's clearly
Where did it go, though?
He's been practicing. I mean, it didn't go out for a goal kick immediately.
It crossed the box. Well, that's encouraging. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he's never going to go outside, is he? He's just not built for it. So, we'll go on to Mousinho's West Ham pre-match interview that he gave early today. A bit later, but I think we're going to have to but we're going to have to hope Segicic plays on the right well for a while, because it doesn't look as if that we're going to get anyone to replace him, certainly before QPR anyway. I was actually on the beach near Chichester, and it was a lovely afternoon. I had ice creams and you had sausages, so we were all enjoying ourselves. And I was keeping tabs via text on the news website just to find out if anything exciting happened.
Watching it on CFAX,
but no.
Right? This is like the
well, it was.
Waiting for it to come round to page 4 and see if anyone's...
It's very old school, but I could tell there was nothing happening because there was several minutes between every entry. So, it was. I'm glad to hear the first half was exciting and worth the trip anyway.
I would say as well that at the end of the game, it was good to see the Pompey fans stick around for quite a long time, give Darmstadt a big round of applause, and actually quite a big round of "We love you, Darmstadt" and stuff, which was unexpected, I think, after some of the earlier chants. And actually, I think probably the highlight was the Darmstadt goalkeeper bringing his little kids out to the goal mouth at the end, and all the Pompey fans giving it with the kids who were joining in. And he ended up swapping a shirt with one of the Pompey fans. So, it was all in all, it was quite a big love-in and a really good atmosphere throughout the whole thing. And Pompey fans,
well, that's what
on the whole,
that's what a friendly's all about, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of the most Germanic things you've ever seen is they handed out a team sheet about halfway through the first half, and the team sheet was actually just a spreadsheet with loads of ticks and crosses, various things. And then you flipped it over and somebody had scrawled all the Pompey names on the back of it.
Well, at least they made the effort.
Up as paper aeroplanes, but yeah.
Well, of course, yeah. That sounds like a great weekend. Very gutted I missed it. Just to touch on your trip, Adam, I don't think people realise how tall or how long Germany is. It must be bigger than the British Isles. From top to bottom.
It's really big, and it's a lot wider as well. It's a pretty big landmass right in the middle of Europe.
Yeah. So that explains the several-hour trip for you, anyway. Excellent. Thank you very much, guys. So we do have a competitive game coming up at the weekend on Saturday. We are away to West Ham in the League Cup. I did some digging on some stats of Pompey's overall record against West Ham. We haven't played them very often. They've obviously been in the top league for quite some time of their history, and we generally haven't. We've only played them 39 times so far. That's
surprising. That is a lot lower than I thought it would be, actually.
Yeah, I looked through. Yeah, we first played them in 1927. And haven't played them very often ever since, the next 100 years. So, the 3 games we will have against them this year represents, about 7% of the entire history. So,
wow.
So, if you do the stats. So, 39 matches, 14 wins, 6 draws and 16 losses. So, fairly even. We last played West Ham in the Championship in the 2011-2012 season, losing twice. The first game was a 4-3 loss at Upton Park, which I do believe I went to. In fact, I'm probably sure I did, because I thought it might be the last time that I would actually go to Upton Park to see us play. Because
I was there as well for that one, yeah.
Yeah, they were planning, obviously that was the Olympics year, and they were planning to move into the Olympic Stadium at least 3 or 4 years after that. I knew we were going to get relegated that season. I knew it would probably be the last time that I went to Upton Park to see West Ham. And then later in the season, the return fixture at Fratton Park, we lost 1-0. And of course, we went down that season with Coventry and Doncaster Rovers only securing 40 points. They've sold quite a few players. Obviously, Freddie Potts, who used to be PO4, has gone to Club Bruges, isn't it? For 12 million.
12 million. I've got to say, I really liked Potts when he was with us, but I'm not sure he's a 12 million player yet. So, I mean, I hope he is. I wish him all the best. I thought he did really well for us, but that's a lot of money for a player who hadn't played a lot of top-flight games, really.
I think he was getting going in the Premiership. I think especially Espirito Santo, when he went in, played him quite a lot during his tenure. Obviously, didn't help because they got relegated. I think the West Ham fans were gutted to see him go, not just because he was one of theirs. It's because I think they thought that he would really, really give them a great chance of going back up. Because he had Championship experience.
Absolutely, and I think he probably would have been one of their best players this season. But you could, if somebody offered you 12 million for a player of that age. And that experience, then I think you've got to accept it, right? I'd be annoyed if Pompey didn't accept that kind of money for one of the players.
Well, exactly. Well, they've got to cut costs for the Championship. They're going to lose a lot of money, even with the parachute payments. Bowen, although stayed, he's going to be big for them this season. I think, and gives them that stability. He's their captain. He stayed, and he's going to give it the big push to get straight back up. But then Leicester said that, didn't they? And look what happened to them. So you never can know. I looked on a couple of fan boards over the last couple of days, and there is a lot of angst about not just the footballing side, but obviously the boardroom side, where obviously you've got Sullivan in disgrace, and the other major owner is obviously the Gold family are trying to sell to Amanda Staveley and her husband, who were involved at Newcastle before they sold on entirely to the Saudis. I didn't realise that it was Daniel Kretinsky who has a large majority of shares, and he's the guy that's currently screwing up the post office over here. So they've got some real
gallery,
bad people involved. Yeah, exactly. It's like no wonder they're they're worried.
We live in quite a glass house when it comes to throwing stones about owners. But that's quite a motley crew.
They've not just got one; they've got a few, and they all seem to be bickering amongst themselves and not much good. Yeah, so they're worried about this season. You know, if they don't get momentum, what do they do? Do they keep Nuno, or do they jettison him? I'm not sure. I mean, I am concerned about how Mourinho will approach it, but you never know. It could be a game we could take advantage of. Simon, how do you think it will go for us on Saturday?
I think it's an incredibly difficult game. They have Premiership experience still.
Yeah,
obviously we are very thin. We've got no wingers basically, and that's supposedly our game, is get it down the wings, get it in, Bishop. And as we saw last year, missing Murphy as much and as often as we did, that massively affected what Bishop could do. I'd love to think that we would go up there, sneak a 1-0, and it be an absolutely legendary day because of the numbers that we're taking. I fear that we will not get a result there.
Adam, do you want to give us your 11 for Saturday? Who have you gone with? I mean, as Simon says, you know, the options aren't that great, but there are some question marks in some positions.
Well, I think there's kind of two answers to this. One, which is what I think Mourinho will go with, which I think he'll probably go the same starting 11 as we had at Darmstadt, which I'm not a big fan of, because I think we've talked before. I don't like Ibu Adams in the number 10, but I think at the moment for a start we don't have a proper number 6 at the moment. So I think the only option he has is to play Leroux there if he's genuinely looking for a sitting number 6. And yeah, as Simon rightly said, we don't have any wingers at all. But from my perspective, I think the back five is pretty straightforward, right? I think it's going to be Schmidt, Swanson, Shaughnessy, Paul, and Devlin. I don't think there's much controversy in there. I think the other centre halves have looked decent, but that's your strongest back four at the moment, while Ogilvy's out injured. The difference I would make is I'd like to see Shane and Adams both start in the centre and kind of take it in turns to switch between the 6 and the 8, because I think they can both do both of those roles, and I'm sure they're smart enough to be able to figure out that when one's going forward, the other one needs to sit back, right? But I think you put your best players on the pitch and you try and put as many of them in the best positions as you can. And then we have the other problem of who's going to be number 10, because our best number 10 is obviously Sejusic, but we don't have any wide options. So I think even if we played the two youngsters on either wing, which is Brooks Smith and Kenny, then we got no subs, and I don't think either of them are ready to go 90 minutes. But both of them to go 90 minutes yet. So I think Sedge just has to play on the right. And so then it's whether you got Swift or Bailey in at 10. And I think for this, I'll probably go for Swift. But that's probably because I haven't seen enough of Bailey, to be honest. And then, of course, Bishop up front, while Milovanovic is getting up to full fitness.
You can say Moretzi.
Maybe the last
you can say Moretzi.
Moretzi is, yeah, okay. No, it's because I said it so good last week. I know. I thought I was going to pull it off again. I've really, I'm really struggling with that today.
Simon, how much different is yours, if any, for Saturday?
Pretty much the same. I feel at least 4 starters short. Yes, the defence, I think, writes its own story. Yes, the midfield. I'd go with exactly what Adam said. I know that he said that he wants to bring 6 more players in, but it's not going to be soon enough for Saturday. So
I do think it. I'm hoping that we'll get at least another 2 in by QPR though. I think that's the important thing, and I think in two key areas. So if Kamara looks like pretty much a done deal now, that's just a matter of time, which instantly makes us a lot better because he's in one of the positions we don't have any players.
Well, this is what worries me. This is really what worries me. We know how good he was in our League One season. How good is he a year and a bit on after all the stuff that's happened to him? I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised if it took him 2 or 3 months to get going.
I also agree with that. And the truth is we don't know, right? But what I would say is I think he's got better experience, and when you look at the likelihood, he's more likely to make an impact than at the moment Brooks Smith or Kenny, who both seem like more projects for the future. So it's an instant upgrade there, and I think if we get Cisse as well, which is looking. I know we're missing Phil in his transfer rumours and updates and things, but I think that's the other most likely one to come, and then we have a proper number 6 in there as well. And then I think suddenly we look a lot better. And look, I think a lot of these problems are short term. We hope that we don't have the injury problems we had last season. We hope that Murphy isn't always 3 weeks away. So I think when we have a fully fit team, we actually have a half decent squad now. But at the moment, we're as someone just say, we're down to the bare bones, right? And we've got to kind of make do for a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham, I know Mourinho said he's going to put out a strong team and he wants to win it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we basically treat it like a bit of a glorified friendly and make all of our subs on about 60 minutes or so, just to give the legs a bit of a rest before we kick off properly the week after.
Yeah, you're right. I think the problem we've struggled with for 2 years is that we've never had the quality or the numbers that to not have the team pick itself, and that's the problem. We've only ever had 13, 14, what we'd consider championship players, and probably in the first season we may not have even had that. But it's having that. It's having giving the Mourinho the opportunity to chop and change people, do different things with tactics, with positioning players, like you say. We're all really scared to death about Swift being played as a 6 or an 8 because he really hasn't covered himself in glory in that position
because he can't tackle and can't do short passes. But...
yeah, exactly. Yeah, has a horrible habit of giving the ball away. So we're 5 on 3. But he wouldn't have to do that if, like you say, we had the numbers and the options to do that. So it's going to take a little while, isn't it? It's going to take a few weeks before we get to where we possibly want to be, and that's probably sort of mid-September. So we've just got to grab a few points where we can, and maybe a cup win, Simon. Who knows? Why don't you give us a quick prediction for the game? Go on.
I'll go with 3-1 West Ham. I hate to do it. I hate to go against Pompey.
Yeah. So is it extra time penalties or just pens straight away? I think it's probably extra time and penalties, isn't it?
I would imagine it's extra time.
Yeah. When you said if you ask a question, we can Google it first.
Yeah. No, Google away.
Yeah.
League One, League Two Cup that goes straight to penalties without extra time.
They go straight to penalties this weekend.
So, we could sneak it on penalties. Who knows? It's possible. We're quite capable of keeping the ball out of the net. It's the other end we've got a problem with. Certainly pre-season we haven't looked like scoring apart from when the kids come on. So I did see. I know you guys as well saw the West Ham pre-match interview, which was held at the training ground this morning. Mourinho hasn't really said anything different than we have. The wings are a problem. Currently light on options there. Murphy, he updated on. It's a frustrating period for him. He's still training, not fully training, but training in bits and pieces, and hopefully back in 2 weeks for the Lincoln game, maybe. Blair and Ume just not ready for first team action yet. I mean, they'll probably be on the bench on Saturday, but whether they'll come on or not, I don't know. So, as you said, Chick's on the right for at least the next couple of weeks. But he said, despite the ongoing problems on the wings, he thinks that we will be competitive in the first part of the season. And even more so when we get the signings in. So he's certainly not worried. Or certainly giving positive messages. And he, like you, Adam, said we were looking at two signings next week before the QPR game. One of which we really hope is Kamara, and one maybe Cisse, or might be the Chelsea lad who's we're looking at as well, the Chelsea winger,
right? Yeah.
Who's 17 or 18, but anyway, he's a prospect. There was a closed door friendly last night. Against a Saudi team. A Q8, that's right. Q8. Yeah, a Q8 team, yeah. So there was run-outs for Matthews, Dia, Apaya and Kenny just to get minutes into them. Mostly the first-year seniors and academy players played in the second half.
Well, we do know that Apaya's definitely not signing, right?
Why?
Do we?
I understand that Mourinho said that Apaya's not coming back. He's got to thank him for his efforts and said he's made a good account of himself, but they're not going to take it any further. So Apaya's not, which I'm surprised about, given our lack of options at left. But then also I heard Mourinho say, or I think I read it in the news, that he's just as likely to sign a right back as he is a left back at the moment, because Swanson could be considered their second left back. So
and of course we've moved Williams on, didn't we? So we did have 3 or 4 options on the wing. Although Knight played at right back in the closed door friendly, so who knows? Ibani Boats went to Huddersfield, undisclosed fee. Good luck to him. He had a horrible first year, obviously with that leg injury, and. I thought he did well when he played. When he got a couple of goals last season, I thought he was decent enough. And
did not disgrace himself when he did play.
He got a couple of really important goals. I thought he started off he was really struggling, but he hadn't played football in a year and a half or something. So that's understandable.
Yeah.
But I think he settled in and he played his part last season. And good luck to him.
Perhaps he's at a point where he is fully fit and he can't sit on the bench. Because it's just not going to help him.
He's going to get the minutes of us at the moment.
The Kamara rumours increase. Who's excited? Hands up. Me. I'm excited.
Well, apparently he booked a table in Darmstadt at the weekend, so I don't know if anybody heard about that.
But then didn't turn up. How rude's that?
Yeah, I think that's a good signing for everyone involved, right?
Yeah, it'd be a relief for him and for us, because clearly we've got unfinished business. There's a little love affair going on there, I think. And we haven't had a right winger for 2.5 years. So,
just want a right winger, just anyone there.
Yeah, we just want someone to play on the right. He's half decent. And if we get Kamara and he plays anything like he did the second half of the League One season, at least I think people do need to remember he did struggle for the first 2 or 3 months while he was trying to find his feet. But once he worked out what he needed to do, he tore quite a few left-sided defenders apart, didn't he? So looking forward to seeing him perhaps do that again.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, people were starting to get on his back, if you remember, towards the end of the first half of that season, and he really did manage to turn it around and became quite the fan favourite. So I know he's had some trouble, but you don't become a bad player overnight.
Okay, thanks very much, guys. Another episode in the can, as they say. Thanks very much for joining me tonight. Really, really grateful for you two with your input and also your tales of fun frolics and sausages and beer from Germany. That was good to hear. I felt like I was there in the Ratskeller with you. So thank you very much. We will be back again next Thursday. The episode will be out on the Friday, certainly. And we will discuss what happens in the West Ham game and hopefully celebrating Kamara finally signing. Let's keep everything crossed with that. we'll see. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope we will see you in a week's time and play out Pompey.